The barking wouldn't stop, sharp, desperate, echoing through the quiet street like a warning the world was about to miss. Officer Daniel Reyes had learned to trust that bark. His police dog, Max, never reacted without reason. But this time, as Max lunged toward a pregnant woman standing alone under a flickering streetlight, Daniel had no idea that one small moment of kindness, or the lack of it, was about to change several lives forever. Before we begin this emotional story, take a moment to support the channel. If stories like this move you, inspire you, or remind you of the power of being human, please subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is Tales River, where real emotions and meaningful stories flow together. It was close to midnight in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Ohio. The kind of place where porch lights stayed on late and neighbors waved from their driveways. Officer Daniel Reyes was finishing the last hour of his shift, driving slowly with Max sitting alert in the passenger seat. Daniel had been a K-9 officer for 6 years. He trusted Max more than any piece of equipment he carried. The German Shepherd had a calm strength, but when something was wrong, Max knew before anyone else. That night felt ordinary. Too ordinary. As they turned onto Maple Street, Max suddenly stiffened. His ears shot up. Then came the bark. Loud. Urgent. Repeated. Daniel slowed the cruiser. "Easy, buddy," he said, scanning the street. That's when he saw her. A pregnant woman stood near the sidewalk, holding her belly with one hand and a small bag with the other. She looked tired. Not dangerous. Just worn down. Her clothes were clean but old, her face pale under the streetlight. Max barked again, pulling against his harness. "This doesn't make sense," Daniel muttered. He stepped out of the car, keeping his voice calm. "Ma'am, are you okay?" The woman flinched at the sound of his voice. "I'm fine," she said quickly. Too quickly. Her name, he would later learn, was Emily Carter. Max wouldn't stop barking. Daniel felt torn. Protocol said to assess, to keep distance. But instinct, and Max, were screaming something was wrong. "Max, sit," Daniel commanded. The dog obeyed, but his body shook with tension. His eyes never left Emily. Daniel noticed her breathing. Shallow. Fast. Sweat on her forehead, despite the cool night air. "Ma'am, you don't look fine," he said gently. "Are you hurt?" Emily shook her head. "I just need to get home." She took a step, and suddenly cried out in pain. She doubled over, gripping her stomach. Daniel rushed forward. Hey, it's okay. I'm here." Max broke free from the sit command and pressed his nose against Emily's side, whining now instead of barking. That's when Daniel understood. This wasn't about danger, this was about urgency. "I'm calling an ambulance," Daniel said, already reaching for his radio. Emily grabbed his sleeve. Her hand was shaking. "Please," she whispered. "I can't afford another bill." Those words hit Daniel hard. "Another bill? How far along are you?" he asked. 8 months, she said through clenched teeth. Another wave of pain hit her. She cried out, louder this time. Daniel didn't hesitate. "Max, stay." He helped Emily into the back of the cruiser, turning on the lights but not the siren. He drove fast, faster than he should have, speaking calmly to her the whole way. "You're doing great. Just breathe. We're almost there." But halfway to the hospital, Emily went quiet. "Too quiet, Emily." Daniel called, glancing in the rearview mirror. Her head had fallen to the side. Daniel's heart dropped. He slammed the brakes and ran to the back door. Emily was unconscious. Blood had begun to stain her clothes. "Dispatch, I need medical now," he shouted into the radio. "Possible placental abruption. Unconscious pregnant female." Max stood beside him, whining, his nose pressed to Emily's hand. The ambulance arrived in minutes that felt like hours. As paramedics worked, one of them looked at Daniel with a grave expression. "She should have been here sooner." Daniel swallowed hard. At the hospital, Emily was rushed into surgery. Daniel sat in the waiting room, Max lying at his feet, unusually still. Time passed slowly. A doctor finally approached. "Officer Reyes?" Daniel stood. How is she? The doctor sighed. The mother survived. Barely. Daniel let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. And the baby? The doctor paused. I'm sorry, he said softly. It was already too late. The words hit like a punch. Daniel sank back into the chair, staring at the floor. Max rested his head on Daniel's knee, sensing the weight of the moment. Days later, Daniel visited Emily again. She was awake now, pale but alive. Her eyes were empty in a way Daniel would never forget. I'm so sorry, he said quietly. Emily nodded. I know, she whispered. The doctor told me, if I'd come in earlier. Her voice broke. Daniel learned her story then. How she had lost her job months earlier. How the baby's father had left. How she ignored the pain for hours, afraid of the cost, afraid of being judged. I didn't think anyone would help me, she said. Daniel looked down, ashamed. How many times, he thought, have we passed someone who needed help, because they didn't look like an emergency? Weeks passed. Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that Max had tried to save that baby. That kindness, sooner, might have changed everything. One afternoon, Daniel received a letter at the station. It was from Emily. Inside was a simple note. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for listening when I was scared. I lost my baby, but you saved my life. Because of you, I'm getting help. I'm not alone anymore. Daniel folded the letter carefully. That night, he hugged Max tighter than usual. The story didn't end there. Months later, Daniel volunteered at a local community clinic, helping connect people to resources. Emily began speaking to other expectant mothers, encouraging them to seek help early. No matter what, pain couldn't be undone, but kindness had created something new. Max still barked when something was wrong. Daniel still listened, and somewhere in that quiet neighborhood, a lesson remained. Kindness doesn't always arrive with loud sirens or perfect timing. Sometimes it arrives late, imperfect, and full of regret, but even then, it matters, because one act of kindness can save a life, change a path, and remind someone they are not invisible. So the next time you feel that quiet urge to help, listen to it. It might be barking for a reason, and your kindness might mean everything.